Hello everyone. Let's dive into some of the key national and international updates that are shaping India's economic landscape and progress. First up, let's talk about something that's been making waves across the globe: trade. Remember, all those talks about tariffs? Well, they're back and with a vengeance. President Donald Trump has intensified his tariff threats, pushing the effective US tariff rate to a whopping 17.6%. That's the highest it's been since 1934. Think about that for a second. What does this mean for us, you ask? Well, for starters, there's a proposed 50% tariff on imported copper. Now, copper isn't just for wires, folks. It's in your electric vehicles, defensive equipment, the power grid that lights up your homes, and so many consumer goods. But wait, there's more. Pharmaceuticals are also facing a massive 200% tariff threat. Yes, you heard that right. 200%. While the US administration says they will give companies time to relocate operations, this is a big deal, especially for us here in India. You see, India is a pharmaceutical powerhouse, supplying a massive 20% of the world's generic medicines and nearly 62% of global vaccines. Almost a third of our pharma exports, about $9 billion worth, goes to the US. Companies like Aurobindo, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's Lab, and Cipla are at the forefront of this. A 200% tariff could severely impact our pharmaceutical industry, potentially affecting jobs, export revenues, and even the availability and cost of medicines globally. This is definitely something we need to keep a close eye on, as it touches the very core of our economic well being and, frankly, the health of millions. And it does not stop there. Investigations are underway for semiconductors, critical minerals, and even lumber, potentially leading to even more duties. Plus, Mr. Trump has confirmed plans for a 10% tariff on imports from BRICS nations. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and newer members like Iran and Indonesia. So, pretty much anything you import from these countries could see a price hike. This could mean a ripple effect on prices of various goods you buy, from electronics to everyday essentials. Now, let's shift gears to something a little more futuristic, but equally impactful. The UN recently reported a fundamental shift in how economies are growing. Last year, investment in intangible items like software, data, and AI actually eclipsed the purchase of physical assets. Think about it. Intellectual property backed assets grew 3 times faster than investment in machineries and buildings. While businesses are slowing down on factories, they are doubling down on data and AI. This tells us that the future of economic growth is less about brute force and more about brain power. Sweden secured the first position with such investments accounting for 16% of the country's GDP. The United States, France, and Finland followed, each with an intensity of 15% of GDP. And guess what? India is right there in the mix, with our intangible investment intensity at nearly 10% of the GDP, putting us ahead of several European economies and Japan. This is great news for our tech sector, for innovation, and for creating high-skilled jobs right here at home. On a different note, here's something interesting news for India's summer energy bills. India's electricity demand actually fell by 1.5% in the April-June quarter compared to last year. That's the first decline since the 2020 pandemic. The reason? Widespread rains across the country. Less need for those power-hungry cooling appliances like ACs and desert coolers means a dip in consumption. And here's the cherry on top. Coal-fired power output dropped by 7%, while renewable energy surged by a fantastic 23%. This is a positive sign for our environment and a step towards a greener future. And finally, some truly heartwarming news, especially for our youngest and most vulnerable. Swissmedic has just approved Quartum Baby, a malaria medicine specifically formulated for infants weighing 2 to 5 kilograms. This is a game changer, folks. Malaria is a deadly disease, especially in Africa, where more than three quarters of malaria deaths are among children. This new precise treatment means safer options for tiny lives, and it could pave the way for hard hit African nations to follow suit. It's a huge step forward in the fight against a disease that devastates so many families. So, from economic shifts to medical breakthroughs, that's your dose of news for the evening. We are living in a dynamic world and staying informed is key. Stay safe, stay smart, and we'll catch you again tomorrow with more updates that matter to you. Thank you.